Good morning. Today is Monday, October 13th. This is Wake Up with KERA News, and I'm Andrew Garcia. We're going to start the week with dry and warm conditions. We'll have afternoon highs mainly in the upper 80s to lower 90s. A new study suggests poor sleep health may cause your brain to age faster and create a brain age gap. We'll learn more about that after the news. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating yesterday's deadly crash of two people in a small plane northwest of Fort Worth. KERA's Bill Ziebel reports.
The twin-engine plane crashed a little after 1:30 p.m. Sunday, according to multiple reports. Witnesses said they heard a loud boom, followed by black smoke billowing from the crash site near North Saginaw Boulevard in the Avondale neighborhood. The plane hit some parked semi-trucks, which caught fire. The Fort Worth Fire Department soon contained that blaze. Tarrant County officials later said two people had died when the aircraft went down. It's not known if Hicks Airfield, a small landing site near the crash, was the plane's original destination. I'm Bill Ziebel in Dallas.
A federal panel in El Paso can now decide whether to block a new congressional district map in Texas. KTEP's Angela Kocherga reports on Friday's closing arguments.
The method used by the man who drew Texas's new congressional map was the focus of final arguments in federal court in El Paso. Attorneys for civil rights organizations told the judges Adam Kincaid knew the areas he carved up were home to a majority of people of color, and they said his goal was to dilute the voting power of Black and Latino Texans. The lead attorney for the state of Texas called Kincaid a, quote, dyed-in-the-wool Republican who created the map to help his party gain 5 new House seats in the midterm election. That's something President Trump requested. The state's attorney argued Republicans win under this new map and, quote, that's true across all races. I'm Angela Kocherga in El Paso.
Here's yet another reason to get a good night's sleep. A new study of more than 27,000 people over several years suggests poor sleep health may cause your brain to age faster and create a brain age gap. KERA's Sam Baker talked about this with Dr. Athika Vatanapradith, a sleep physician with Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas.
Let's say if you're 40, but your brain age is 50 years old, that gap is a 10-year gap. The higher the brain age gap led to a higher mortality in the patient. It also led to a higher risk of cognitive decline, aka the development of dementia or other neurodegenerative disorders. The study all boils down to the fact that sleep is a possible modifiable factor that may influence brain health.
The study suggested inflammation may be at work.
They picked certain inflammatory markers, and so they would do blood work and things like that. So if there was an elevation in these markers, then they would surmise that inflammation does play a role. And they found that inflammation does play a role in about 10%. So that's what it's contributing to that overall brain age gap.
What is inflammation doing that causes this?
It's a systemic inflammation. It plays a range in many different neuropathologies. So it can increase risk of having strokes and having protein accumulation in the brain. So one of those is amyloid plaques, which is seen in people with Alzheimer's disease. That's kind of how it affects the brain.
So the overall here suggestion is try to get better sleep. What's the best way or ways to do that?
The easiest one is going to be screened for obstructive sleep apnea. That can improve your sleep duration. That can improve snoring, daytime sleepiness. It can even improve sleep maintenance insomnia, which means your ability to stay asleep at night once you have fallen asleep. And those are 4 of the metrics that they used to define healthy sleep.
If you don't have that, what should the average person do to try to make sure that they are maintaining good sleep health?
Good sleep routine. Make sure you're obtaining enough hours of sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep on average. That is generally the goal. If you already know that you're regarding schedules and things like that, it's very easy to deprioritize sleep. Just make sure that you're prioritizing sleep now that we know a lot of things can come from poor sleep. That's one of the things that can really help.
By the way, when we're talking about poor sleep health, are we talking about something chronic, or is this something a person who, say, may be having periodic trouble from stress every now and then might have to worry about?
The more chronic something is, the more downstream effects there may be. It can affect things like your oxygenation level when you're sleeping. So if somebody has trouble sleeping and we know that it is situational due to stress, due to certain life events, yes, we do help to try to help that patient obtain better sleep in certain ways. However, we know that this is more of a temporary cause of poor sleep.
So good sleep health is that important a thing?
Not only for quality of life because of how you feel, but it also helps to lower the risks of other comorbid conditions, like your risk of stroke and your risk of congestive heart failures. But I think a lot of times it's more of that quality of life. You want to feel like you've rested, and you want to feel like you're not drowsy during the day and you're functional during the day. So I think that's really important, yes.
Dr. Athika Vattanapradith is a sleep physician with Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas. In the world of North Texas sports, sadly, it was a weekend of losses. The Mavericks and Dallas FC both lost on Saturday, though it's still just the preseason for the Mavs. Dallas Trinity FC lost 2-0 against Spokane Zephyr FC, and the Dallas Cowboys lost a game many thought they might win against a struggling Carolina Panthers team, 30-27. The lone Dallas team to get a win were the Stars, but it did take them a shootout to get it done. Join over 40 Texas sauce makers on Saturday at Martin House Brewing in Fort Worth for the North Texas Hot Sauce Festival. The celebration of all things spicy features mild to meltdown tastings, music, flash tattoos, kids' activities, and an amateur pepper eating contest for the brave. To see details and more arts events, head to the Go See DFW calendar at keranews.org/calendar. Thanks for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. That's where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter. You'll get a more in-depth look into the news with plenty of good morning vibes. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.